and tenets of ancient Indian wisdom with a special reference to Buddhism. I feel myself proud and privileged to speak in the inaugural function of this webinar, international webinar. So much has been spoken by our speakers earlier also. So I will speak something on that, what is the significance of interdependence in bringing the global well-being in based upon our Buddhist literature. So as we know that interdependence is the fundamental law of the nature also. For understanding the interdependence, there are three aspects of interdependence. First of all, idam pratyayata. Second is the nisvabhavata, and third is parasapar asrayata. So I will speak in a very brief manner all these three aspects to correlate that how this tenet of interdependence is relevant in present pandemic COVID-19. As we know that the first aspect is idam pratyayata, that everything is dependent on some cause and conditions. As it has been said in the text that imasmim sati idam hoti, imasmim asati idam na hoti, imas upada idam upajjati, imas nirodha idam nirujjati. So there is no self-independent entity. There are some causes and conditions. Based upon that, everything comes into existence. So this is idam pratyayata. Second is nisvabhavata, that every phenomena is essenceless. And everything, whatever it is coming into existence, they are based upon the cause and conditions. That is why it is called as essenceless or sunni or void. The second is called as prasapar asrayata. That prasapar asrayata is interdependence. All the phenomena which are taking place in our day-to-day life, they are dependent on some cause and conditions. There are 4 points which are correlated with this interdependence. That is the prasapar asrayata. That first is the coexistence. Second is mutual dependence. Third is the cooperation. And fourth is the co-enjoying. The first coexistence, that is the paraspar, you can say, existence, that is the establishment. So here there is if there is a cause, then there is the existence, presence of the another conditions also. So in that way, there is the concept of coexistence. Then second is the mutual dependence, that is the prasapar nirvarta. And here prasapar nirvarta, that if there is the cause, then there is the arising of the, you can say, conditions, that is the effect also. Third is called as the sahayog, that is the cooperation. So all the phenomena are having correlated with their cause and conditions in the sense of cooperations. And the lastly, that is called as co-enjoying, that is the sahanand. The cause and conditions are correlated with each other. Again, for understanding the idam pratyayata or interdependence, there are 3 points also, like tathata, avitathata, and pativad sahata. So here, the first is called as tathata, that if there is no cause, there will be no any effect also. And second, avitathata is if there is any cause, then there must an effect arise. And there is the third is called as a tathata, avita, and sabhav patibandh. That is, anything comes from anything without having an existential tie. That if there is something, then there will be arising of anything. Nothing comes from nothing, but there is a sabhav patibandh. So in that way, these 4 are, you can say, related. So coexistence, mutual dependence, cooperation, and co-enjoying. These four are the understanding of the theory of interdependence and how all the phenomena are correlated. And these four aspects of interdependence are also showing the significance that how following these four things we can be closely interconnected, and how the four aspects, these coexistence, mutual dependence, cooperation, and co-enjoying, can give a global well-being. If you correlate all these four aspects of interdependence with the ideals of Bodhisattva, there are six types of parvitas, main parvitas, like Dan Parvita, Sil Parvita, Chanti Parvita, Viri Parvita, Dhyan Parvita, and Pragya Parvita. If you correlate all these four aspects of the independence, that is the coexistence, mutual dependence, and cooperation and co-enjoying, then we can understand that how the ideals of Bodhisattva are also related with the four aspects of interdependence. If you see Adhan Parmita and Sail Parmita, through performing these perfections, a bodhisattva can get a state of eternal bliss. And through these perfections, he can also give a chance to other human beings for getting a state of eternal bliss. Like, see, there is an example that how man is connected with the nature and the environment. Here, man is the, you can say, coexistence, and nature is the mutual dependence. So all these four aspects, if you can correlate with the man, nature, and environment, then you can easily understand that how these four types of interdependence or four aspects of interdependence can be correlated with all these ideals of performing perfections by a bodhisattva. So through these Dan Parmita, a bodhisattva is able to perform his duties in getting removal of the suffering of the others, and in getting a state of eternal bliss of the others also. So for understanding this interdependence, there are some texts which signify these four aspects, that is the coexistence, mutual dependence, cooperation, and co-enjoying. Bodhi Charja Avatar, which is considered as a text of ethical philosophy, it also discusses about the duties of the Bodhi Charja Avatar. Related with the duties of Bodhi Charja Avatar, a bodhisattva is likely to perform the karuna and bodhicitta. As we know that karuna is not a verbal sympathy of seeing the suffering of the others, but how there must be an effort to remove the suffering of others, how a person has to enter into the suffering of others, and how he has how can he make an effort for the removal of the suffering of others. This is called as karuna. And bodhicitta, as we know, that this is the seed of enlightenment. Through the seed of enlightenment, there are two aspects, like relative bodhicitta, and another is called as ultimate bodhicitta. Here, through the ultimate bodhicitta, a person can get a cognizance of all the phenomena, that all things are subject to suffering, all things are subject to suffering, and all things are subject to soulless. And through relative bodhicitta, a person tries to, or he aspires for getting a state of eternal bliss. So these two, ultimate bodhicitta and paramartha bodhicitta, these two are very important for getting a state of karuna, or for developing or cultivation of the compassion or karuna. So one has to develop And it is also said that without compassion, this emptiness of compassion or pragya sunya cannot be achieved, or even a compassion is not being realized without having the cognizance of the all things are subject to impermanence. That is the pragya sunya, that is the wisdom of emptiness. So all these are important. So here the four aspects of the interdependence, coexistence, mutual dependence, cooperation, and co-enjoying are very much related with the ideals of the Bodhisattva, the six paramitas. So if you correlate all these four aspects of interdependence, then a Bodhisattva can develop or cultivate the compassion. So here, as we know that a Bodhisattva aims for the welfare of the global well-being of the people, and bodhisattva cannot be developed without compassion also. So in this way, universal compassion, that is the Mahakaruna concept, was also developed. And in the Mahakaruna concept was developed in the Sadhanamala also, Doha Kos also, and in Charyapad also. So we find in the text of the Doha Kos as well as in the Sadhanamala that how concept of Mahakaruna, and there is a difference between the Karuna and Mahakaruna. That Karuna is meant for the Sattva Alambana, that its object is only a person, but Mahakaruna is for all the global well-being. So in that sense, there is a difference between Mahakaruna and Karuna. Here, Karuna gives the, you can say, Amoh Bhav, that is Advesa. Karuna leads towards the Advesa, that is the Maitriness. But Mahakaruna leads towards the Amoha, that is the Pragya. So in that way, there is a difference between Pragya and here. So in this way, present pandemic, how the teachings of the interdependence related with the coexistence, mutual dependence, cooperation, and co-enjoying are relevant nowadays also. So we have to feel this because Buddhism is a non-theistic religion. And as we know that Buddhism, there are two aspects of the teachings of the Buddha. First aspect is the rationality of mind, which gives the, you can say, scientific thinking, not to accept the things which is coming from the tradition or revelation, but we have to investigate and then we have to follow the teachings of the Buddha. Secondly, the second aspect, that is the causality of the Buddhism. So here causality is nothing but the second aspect deals about the four aspects of interdependence. So all these have been discussed in this text of Bodhicharjavatar and other Mahayana texts also. So here in according to Buddhist philosophy, so whenever, as previous scholars have said, that the first statement of the Buddha after having got the enlightenment, that Baujan Chart Bhikkave Charikam Baujan Itai, Baujan Sukhai, Lokan Kampai, Athai. So here the concept of Baujan Hitai and Baujan Sukhai, this concept gives the global well-being. And here the concept of global well-being is discusses the first statement, and the concept of Lokanukampa, that compassion to all the people of the world. So here also gives the global well-being. So Lokanukampa is nothing but it is, you can say, psycho-ethical thoughts for bringing the harmony in the society. So if there are so many, as we know that Buddhism is non-theistic religions, so all things comes on our soldier to accept the things that how you have to remove the wrong emotions and how we have to develop the good emotions also, and how we have to control our wrong emotions like hatred, antipathy, abhiman, kodh, upana, and how we have to develop the good emotions like karuna, maitri, mudita, and other things. So we have to develop all these good emotions in a very, so in this pandemic time there is a need of all the development of and if you follow the second factor of the eightfold path, that is the right determination or right thought, that Samma Sankappo. So in Samma Sankappo has been defined as Nekham Sankappo, Abhyapad Sankappo, Avihinsa Sankappo. So here that Abhyapad Sankappo and Avihinsa Sankappo, they are nothing but they are signifying the Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam and Arogino Himino Hontu Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukitatta. So these, that is the Abhyapad Sankappo, a right determination to develop the universal friendliness, and Avihinsa, that is a right determination to develop the compassion. These are called as the great or good emotions for uprooting the or destruction, for the destruction of the wrong emotions. So there is a time for how we have to develop our this. So there is a need of planting the seeds of the mainly the universal friendliness and universal compassion. And through these two good emotions, we can develop our good, you can say, global well-being. So how our religious leaders are also saying that if you have to acquire the happiness, then we have to follow the universal friendliness and universal compassion. And there is now a concept which is coming nowadays, that is the sustained compassion. So now sustained compassion, that how we have to make an effort for development of the compassion again and again. So in that way we can develop global well-being. So with these words, I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizing committee of this international webinar organized by our Gautam Buddha University, and especially to Honorable Bhagwati Karan Sarma, Vice Chancellor, and Professor Surendra Singh, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences of Gautam Buddha University, and Dr. Arvind Singh, Organizing Secretary, and other members who are involved in this international webinar. So I sincerely thank to all of them. Thank you for patience hearing. Thank you very much, Reverend.
Thank you, Buhodanawa. Thank you very much for your speech, sir. That's enlightening us so much about the three aspects of interdependence, mutual, cooperative, and co-joining. So also you also focus on the development of bodhicitta, the practice of 10 parameters, 10 perfections, and also others aim for the past compassion and wisdom, how to give the solutions and for the welfare and for the global being. Thank you so much.